Welcome back to Project 613. Today we are going to learn all about the mitzvah of dwelling in the Sukkah on the holiday of Sukkot. The verse tells us, Basukot teshvu shivat yamim. You shall dwell in the Sukkah for 7 days, and this is referring to the 7 days of the holiday of Sukkot, which begin on the 15th of the month of Tishrei, just a few days after Yom Kippur. We are to build a Sukkah. A Sukkah means a temporary structure outside of our house, and we cover the Sukkah with something called schach. Schach is actually the main part of the Sukkah, to have the covering. And this is accomplished by using a material that grew from the ground and has now been cut off from its original source. That is what makes kosher schach. And we take this covering, either this branch, some people use bamboo mats or bamboo sticks, and we put it on top of our little temporary hut, our Sukkah, and this is the roof. The schach has to cover the majority of the roof of the Sukkah. There has to be more shade than sunlight in the Sukkah in order for your Sukkah to be kosher. What's the reason for this mitzvah? The Torah tells us, in order that all future generations should know that at the time of the Exodus of Egypt, God had the Jewish people dwell in Sukkot. And what that means is that the Jewish people dwelled in God's Sukkah. What was God's Sukkah? It was the clouds of glory that protected the Jewish people from the elements in the desert. And just like the clouds of glory totally surrounded the Jewish people and protected them, so too we enter into the Sukkah and we go into a space that totally encompasses us head to toe, to affirm and to remind ourselves of our faith and our trust in Hashem, that just like then the Jewish people put their faith and trust in Hashem going into the desert, not knowing what would happen, but they trusted Hashem and Hashem protected them by surrounding them by His clouds of glory. So too we go out to the Sukkah every year and we remind ourselves of Hashem's protection, that in truth it is Hashem who protects us. And this is one of the amazing, unique things of the Sukkah, that it is a mitzvah that totally encompasses the person from head to toe. Unlike any other mitzvah that a person does just with a specific limb, the Sukkah, a person enters into the Sukkah and it totally surrounds him from top to bottom, and it represents God's divine presence that encompasses us, surrounds us, and protects us. What is a person actually supposed to do in the Sukkah? So the Torah says we should dwell in the Sukkah, and what that means is that just like during the year we dwell in our house, so all the regular things that a person does in his house during the festival of Sukkot, the person is supposed to do in the Sukkah. So we eat in the Sukkah, we drink in the Sukkah, we spend time in the Sukkah. Many people even sleep in the Sukkah. The Chabad custom, however, is that we do not sleep in the Sukkah, and the reason for that has been explained by the second Rebbe of Chabad, Rabbi Dov Ber, who explained that because the Sukkah represents Hashem's divine presence, as explained, it represents the clouds of glory. Therefore, since there is such a great revelation of divine energy in the Sukkah, it would not be considered appropriate to sleep in such a space. Now, as mentioned, the reason for this mitzvah is to remind us of the faith that the Jewish people had in God's protection, and it's for this reason also that the time that we celebrate Sukkot is in a time when it's not necessarily so convenient to go outside and to spend time outdoors. Because it's precisely to make that point, that we're not going out to the Sukkah just to enjoy the good weather. If we would do Sukkot in the springtime or in the summertime, people would understand you want to be in the shade. But that's not the point. The point is just to demonstrate our faith and our trust in Hashem, that He offers us protection just like He protected the Jewish people at the time of the Exodus. Now, what makes a kosher Sukkah? In order for a Sukkah to be kosher, number one, the Sukkah cannot be more than 20 amot tall, which is more than 30 feet tall. It has to be at least 7 by 7 handbreadths wide and 10 handbreadths high. And the Sukkah has to have at least 3 walls, and you could even have 2 full walls and 1 partial wall in order for it to be a kosher Sukkah. But most importantly, it has to have the correct amount of schach to cover the majority of the Sukkah. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.